The only thing that's real. The needle told familiar sting. Try to kill it. Everything. What have I, sweetest friend? Everyone I know goes away. And you could have it all. My empire of dirt, I will let you hurt. The final song for this game, Hurt by Johnny Cash, originally by Nine Inch Nails. I've never listened to the Nine Inch Nails version. I think I've listened to bits and pieces of it, but I've never listened to the full thing because outside of Closer, which admittedly I only use to creep people out, I've never cared for Nine Inch Nails music all that much. Because I think they veer a little bit too close to pretentious for me. But I'm very familiar with the Johnny Cash version of that song because it is one of my favorite songs of all time and a song that I relate to very, very much. But it's also a song that is hard for me to listen to and gets harder for me to listen to as I get older, so um I mean it's on every sad song list ever, and I think that's one of those songs that like no one's gonna meme or anything, but man, honestly, if you don't like that song to some degree, I don't even want to talk to you. And I mean that. So anyways, hello everybody, welcome back to Shadow of the Colossus, the final trial of Shadow of the Colossus. Yes, this is the last episode. Last time we faced off against my favorite boss in the game, Phalanx, and Cenobia, one of the more least favorite bosses that I have. Now it's time for the final two Colossi in the game. This is all leading up to this. So, let's get to it. It's going to be a very, very heavy episode because I know exactly what happens here, but, suffice it to say, this game has forced me to reflect a lot, not just on itself, but also my own personal thoughts on the subject and the themes it presents. So, yeah, this is gonna... We're delving into some personal shit this episode. Some very personal shit. Yeah, let's get to it. 15th Colossus is coming up. So, I mentioned before I was about to fight Dirge that when I thought about this game, I thought that if you could, if you had the again, intelligence isn't the right word, but you could, but it could be considered a metaphor for depression to some degree. As some of you may have gathered, I do suffer from depressive tendencies sometimes. And I'm not gonna lie, this year really know it's only the start, but it's kicked me in the balls to the point where it honestly just feels like I'm at the end of my rope. And it seems to happen, I don't know what it is, but it seems to happen every 3 years. Something major happens. Or some things happen bit by bit. But every 3 years, it seems like there comes a point where I've just switched over to fucking mode. And yeah, I've gone to that point. I'm not gonna lie. And playing through this game really did reinforce those feelings the more I got into it, because in some ways I can relate to Wanderer. Because I've lost people, whether through death or through other circumstances, that I cared about very much. And there's a lot of things I would do to get those people back. A lot of things. You know, and in some cases I still hold out hope that that's going to be the case. And in my desperation, I have had a little voice. It's tiny, but it's there, telling me, you know, to try and do this and this and this and all that good stuff. And over time, and I've recognized in myself, every little bit, every little positive thing that I've had, or that I've felt, or what have you, is just kind of slowly eroded, like a stone being subjected to the wind. It's very slowly, and you don't even notice it. But the more I've tried to do it, the less for lack of a better term, human I become. And I've led down a very self-destructive path that I recognize that I'm going down. And I've accepted that. Sadly enough, I have. And I know it's not the right path to go down, but it's almost like I'm too far down into the hole to really dig myself out of it. All because I wanted to, you know, was desperate enough to the people I cared about to really, you know, I'm willing to do those things, even though I know it's not good. Not good at all. And that voice gets stronger and stronger. And it's almost like once you start doing things, it just doesn't stop. And you start doing more things and start taking bigger risks and bigger bigger dangers, I would say. And maybe and unlike Wanderer, there does come a point where you recognize it. But much like Wanderer, once you've gotten past a certain point, it's almost too late to stop. And I'm trying to keep it spoiler free, but eventually there's gonna come a point where it's not going to end well for you. And that little voice gets stronger. Even if you know it's bad, it's kind of the only thing that's speaking to you. And you know you shouldn't listen to it. You know you shouldn't. But when you're desperate enough and you have issues trusting others and you feel like there's no one else around to help you out in your lowest moments, that voice, just the fact that it talks to you and gives you false hope, because false hope is sometimes better than no hope in this case, even though you know it's not true at all. But so, you know that quote from The Dark Knight, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Bit over dramatic, I would say, but there is a certain, I guess, relation there. Because if I'm being completely honest, I feel like I've been dead for 3 years. I feel like there are days when I wake up, I feel like I'm stuck in purgatory. Like I died. And this is my own personal hell. Because I feel like I'm trying to figure out what I've done wrong. But there's no answer. And as much as I'm trying to find that answer, it feels like it's never going to come. So, yeah. Playing through this game now that I'm older, I appreciate this a lot more when I was in high school, because I know this is gonna sound fucking pathetic, but I really do feel like one of those people who high school was the best years of their lives, and it just got worse after that. Like, have you ever seen, if you've ever seen The World's End, the Simon Pegg and Nick Frost movie of the final Cornetto trilogy of their movies that started with, you know, Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. That's a movie that's not a bit more dramatic. It's way more dramatic than either of those. And for those of you who haven't seen it, well, I definitely think it's the weakest of their films from a comedy perspective, and that's kind of the reason you see those movies in the first place. I do think there's a lot of good things, and a lot of things that I've sadly related to as I've gotten older. And when Simon Pegg's character, there's a particular scene towards the end of the film, like the last 15 minutes, where you find out a pretty big bombshell, and you kind of understand why he is the way he is. And when I saw that back in 2014, I want to say, no, 2013. It would have been because it came out the summer after my junior year of high school. And I was just going into senior year. And I saw it, you know, in kind of a limited theater. And there was a moment, and when that moment came, I didn't really think much of it at the time. But now that I've gotten older, that moment hits me a lot more, and I relate to it a lot more. Because I've definitely felt like Gary in that moment. You can probably find the clip on YouTube. In fact, I'm almost certain you can find the clip on YouTube. You can, because I've watched it, but you know, just one of those things. It's like the stuff that you experience in high school that you didn't think twice about. When you get older and life kind of shits on a lot of your aspirations, there comes a point in time when that starts to have a lot more resonance. And that's both a good thing and a bad thing, I would think, because you learn to appreciate it more than you did when you were younger, but you also identified a lot more than when you were younger. And sometimes you don't want to do that, because it just... It brings up all the bad things, and all the pain that you've experienced. And this game feels like it for me. So, yeah. This is gonna be a pretty heavy episode, but I am gonna try and keep to gameplay. We are at the boss arena though. The penultimate Colossi. I feel like all you just have to do is walk, and then... I don't know what it is with these boss fights. Sometimes you have to walk a certain distance, and it'll trigger for you. Other times you gotta do a weird thing, like stand on your head, rub, like stand on one foot, hop, rub your head and rub your stomach and pat your head at the same time, do 3 Hail Marys and sacrifice a goat to Satan, that sort of thing. Oh. There we go. Here we are. Penultimate Colossi. This is... I want to say Valis is its name. Or am I wrong? It's either Valis or Argus. But yeah, kind of, well, not the most appropriate bookend, but it does kind of feel a bit, fitting before the final boss that you faced off against a bipedal-looking Colossi before, and now the fight before you go to take the final journey is against a Colossi that has a very similar design to it. I don't know. Even back at high school, I always thought that was a nice touch. But yeah, I'm trying to remember how you take this guy out. I feel like it's something to either do with the environment or something else. I'm just pissing this guy off. No, he does not have fur on his legs, so that's not going to be useful for me. No, Valis was the name of the first boss. What's this guy's name? So yeah, he's a bit more aggressive. Actually, he's far more aggressive than the first Colossi, off against Valis. So... come on. I feel like I have to get to higher ground. Seems to be a running theme with these last couple boss fights lately. It's over, Anakin! On the high ground! That sort of thing. So I'm trying to figure out how to... Yeah, that's what I figured. You gotta get up high somewhere. The only issue is I'm trying to figure out where, because there's not a lot of places you can easily grip on. Actually, wait a minute. Can that? Nope. Yep, I figured I had to get to the high ground. The trouble is trying to find somewhere to get to the high ground on, because, yeah, again, sometimes these bosses are a little vague. I'm not gonna lie. Hang on, I got an idea. What if we, thing. Yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest. I have no idea how to take this guy out. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I got an idea. I got an idea. I don't know if it's a good idea, but it's an idea nevertheless. But yeah, he's not that tough of a boss to really get at. The tough part is just figuring out what to do. No, wait, shit. Had a good idea there. But it reacted too fast. Hang on, I'm gonna see if I can't get him to, like, do the 1 foot in front of the other thing again. There we go. Now, what if I can't just... Yes! I think I'm on the right path. At least I hope I'm on the right path. The only trouble is the camera angles. I got an idea. I got an idea. Let's see if this won't yield any results for me. Oh, shit. Yeah, I think... No. No, I think I figured it out now. I think I figured it out now. Argus. Argus is his name. Yeah, I did have to look that up. That was why I was kind of silent. But, Argus is his name. We had Valus and then we had Argus. So I think if I mentioned that name, I was right. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Now that we're up high, let's, again, I'm just gonna switch back to my usual tactic of pissing this guy off with arrows. Because I feel like trying to get him to, like, punch through these, like, little stone archways, in between the gaps, is what's going to lend us success. At least I hope so. Could be entirely wrong. Oh. Whoa! Oh! There we go. See, I'm figuring this guy out. It's like, I have no idea what to do. I'm like, okay, now I've got an idea what to do. There we go. There we go. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Hey. Ugmo. Get over here. Get your ass over here. I'm shooting at you. Pissing you off. I'm like a gnat. Come on, boy. That's right. Come on. Let's get back up there. I think there's a particular... There's either a particular spot I have to get him to swing at or something else. Or do I have to, like, jump on him when he swings down there? When he swings his little... Would you call it a sword? I'd call it a sword. Or not. Okay, so we gotta get, like, up top. Means we're gonna have to start this whole thing all over again. Come on. I know you want to. I'm right here. Ready to die. Alright, get up there. Use this. Here. Alright, now the question is, how do we get up to higher ground than we already have? Good question. Let's see if we can't, find a way. What's these? Maybe these? Ugh, those soulless vacant holes, man. Oh, there's a staircase there. I'm an idiot. Thanks. Barnacle head. Pardon? You forgot your mayonnaise. Thanks. Did that work? Hold up. Oh, nope. Even higher ground. The highest ground, Anakin. There we go. There we go. Now I know what to do here. Alright, now that I'm at the highest point on the map, or at least the highest point in the arena, I don't think this is anywhere near the highest point on the map. Of course, I don't think he can reach me up here, but I might just be... Yeah, I know. Pissing off a giant with a bow and arrow. Always a good idea, but, Oh! Oh, I think I know what I need to do. Yeah, here we go. Or at least I hope I know what to do. Yeah, this boss is taking a bit longer, but at least I'm not frustrated, unlike Pelagia, because... Although I think that's also a problem when... I wouldn't say he's forgettable, but he's one of... I would say he's one of the lesser Colossi, in my opinion. It's a nice callback to the first fight with Valis, sure, but, after having the heights and lows of the 13 Colossi between that first fight and this one, it kind of pales in comparison. Got an idea. Is it a good idea? Who knows? But I think I feel like yeah, one of those vials, yep, right on its head. But there's another interesting one. You see that hand right there? Yep, that's another weak spot. So we gotta find a way to, I think, I'm trying to remember how to do it so that we. Well, first off, I'm trying to figure out a way how to get on this guy in general. That's priority numero uno. Numero dos is how exactly do I get that sword out of his hand? I think there's another one right around here-ish. It's either a major spot or it's a weak spot. You missed! How could you miss? I'm 3 feet in front of you! Or is he getting smarter? I can't tell if he's doing it on purpose or if he's doing it, or if I've bugged the AI somehow. No, there we go. Okay, so now that I've destroyed both bridges, I myself am curious as to how in God's name I'm supposed to kill this thing. I already have an idea of where the weak spots are, but it's also a matter of how to get on the Colossus in the first place. Yeah, interesting dilemma here. And apparently there's no stairs here. I'm trying to find a way to like get up on here because, as you can tell, he does not have a lot of easy points to climb on. Like, even look at this guy. And other than the obvious ones like the fur and some of the leg armor, there's not a lot of places you can climb up. So you really got to be around that area to do anything to him. Trying to figure out how to get on this guy. Wait a minute. No, I cannot grab onto that. Curse you, geometry. God, the geometry here in this game. Well, at least you guys aren't Destiny. That's one good thing I can say. Yeah, I've officially given up on that game. Bungie lost all its creativity after Halo Reach, and honestly, I did not like both of the Destiny games. I pretty much only played them out of a sick sense of Stockholm Syndrome and the fact that my friends were also playing them at the same time. But I have not played that game in over a year, almost a year now, and I'm confidently glad I don't anymore because, yeah, I don't miss it one bit. I really don't. I find that entire game to be a tedious, boring, dredgy mess. Yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest here. I have no fucking clue how to kill this guy. Hold on, I'm sorry here. I'm gonna cheat here. I'm gonna figure out how to. I'm gonna look at a walkthrough briefly. Just gonna be a picture-based one. Don't worry. Yeah, I know this ruins my thing as an LP person, but actually, rather than look up, no. No, yeah, you can tell there's so many angles on this boss, you don't even know where to get him. One thing I will say is that the music is appropriately epic, as always. Yeah, let me... Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to get this guy. Because, yeah, he does really feel like a puzzle in every sense of the word. Let's see if we can't... There we go. There we go. Of course, it's angled in such a way that, unless... Nope. Shit. Okay, I have an idea of what to do. Or no, let me try something different. Let me go back to the bridge that I destroyed. I destroyed both bridges for a reason. Maybe I should use the ends to my advantage. Alright. Come on. There we go. Alright. Down on there. Let's find the stairs. Not the... Oh, get up there. Alright. Yeah, I can tell this is going to be a bit of a long episode here. Again, I'm not frustrated. I'm honestly more confused by this fight than anything, because, again, been a while since I played this game, and even with this fight, I had a hard time doing it, and the camera's giving me a harder time. Thanks very much for that. I really appreciate it. I also don't like the fact that maybe it's just because I'm pushing up on the stick more necessary than I should be. That anytime you're near a ledge, he just drops and grabs onto it. It's kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so let's find a way to get him right in the middle. Wait a minute. Oh, no. Ah, damn it. Damn it. Well, at least I'm in a good position to get back up there. Come on. Yeah, this boss takes a while. Especially if you're like me and you're completely clueless as to what to do. Not gonna lie, I knew the bosses that I would hate to fight again. This one is kind of the one that I was going to have the most trouble remembering because, again, literally all I could tell you about this boss was that he had like a giant stone cleaver and he had a weak spot inside of his hand, which was really annoying for me, especially the first time I played it, because trying to get him in a good position. Hell, even trying to drop it, and trying to drop the cleaver was not an easy feat. Is he? Wait a minute. Hold up. Stop moving. There we go. All right. Time to stab you in your head. Stabby. 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 And I think, is that the last stabby opportunity for the no. Now I think it's the last stabby opportunity for the sigil. Or not? Shit, 5 hits, really? Yep, now is the last stabby opportunity for the sigil. Okay, now there is, I think, a weak point hidden. Yep. You see that little, if you're eagle-eyed enough, you can see the little crack right on his arm there. Yeah, that red spot. We gotta get over there and stab it. Of course, this boss also does like to shake a lot, which does not help. Oh, shit. Is there a way for me to... Hang on, I'm trying to find a good thing to do, because I really don't want to have to get back up there again. I'm trying to figure out if I can jump over to the little girdle thing and then climb up along the back ribs. Come on. I'm gonna have to get back up on the bridge. Yeah, this is the part that I really did not like the first time I battled him, was just trying to get to the weak point on his arm, because this boss thrashes more than any other boss outside of the two bullfight bosses, Zenobia and Celosia, which is to be expected for them, but this guy, yeah, and he is a very, very obscure puzzle boss. Admittedly, I shouldn't have been wasting as much time as I had trying to figure out what to do, because when I got to the bridge, it should have clicked in my head, oh, why don't I just jump off the bridge and let this Colossi get near me, and then jump on his head. That should have been really fucking obvious, and it wasn't, so I apologize for wasting time, but in my defense, I haven't played this game in a while, so don't at me, bro. This pisses motherfucker off. Let's get him over here. Yeah, you. Yeah, you. Weepy, 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 yoo-hoo, the little peanut worm. Yeah, I shouldn't be taunting this thing. Although, I don't know if Team Ico would ever consider it in any capacity, but it would actually be kind of cool if, just as a little gameplay bonus, you could actually taunt the Colossi by speaking into the microphone, because I think, well, outside of multiplayer, not a whole lot of games use microphone compatibility. There are a couple, though, but not ones I can remember. I think, if I remember right... Whew! Wow, that was lucky. If I remember right, the first Hitman game, if you were playing with headphones, you could use them to distract the enemies around, but at the same time, you had to be, like, quiet. And I mean legitimate. Not even saying a goddamn thing quiet, because any noise you made would attract them, which was actually kind of ingenious. I only played through like the first level or two of Hitman. Yeah, there we go. Now he dropped his cleaver. Now it's just a matter of getting him to find a way to attack him with his right hand. Because if I remember right, there is fur on his right hand, if I'm not mistaken. And no, if you're going to ask, he's not going to pick it back up. Which, thank God for small miracles, because if you had to keep doing that over and over and over again, oh boy, it would drag this fight out even more than it's already getting dragged out. Yeah, now it's all just a matter of actually getting onto his palm in the first place and finding a way to, oh shit, I'm not even near the right position of where I need to be up. Yeah, because I think, we get back up there. We can, have him do the swipe maneuver like he always does, and, you know, then we'll get an opportunity to get on his hand. Or he could just whiff the attack like normal. That always works too. Come on, motherfucker. Oh shit, he could get two at once. I mean, I kind of expected that, but still. Never knew that before. I'm legitimately surprised. And no, arrows cannot. I mean, I guess I shouldn't expect them to do the, to be able to get the weak attacks in, but hey. Oh, is he gonna stomp, or is he gonna try and get me with his hand? Yep, orange eyes take warning there, so we pissed him off. Oh. Come on. I'm right here. Come on! Do it! Kill me, I'm right here! Or are you just gonna shrug it off? I'm gonna hang off here, see if we can't attract him to us? Or is he not even gonna bother to... I don't think he's even gonna bother to try to... Yeah, this is the part where... It felt like it was dragging before, now it's really dragging. Just trying to get this guy to cooperate. Actually, we're in a perfect position. Out in the open, and he can easily take a swing at us. Come on, buddy. I know you want to. Come on. Right here. Pissing you off. Or are you seriously not even going to... I got an idea. Light bulb just clicked on. Okay, wrong leg, but at least I got the right idea. I think. Come here. Come on. Got an idea. I'm right here. Come and squish me. There we go. There we go. Come on. Wait a minute. I think I'm in a perfect fit. I think I'm in a good spot. Just... He would just stop moving. Shit. Yeah, this guy's not easy to beat. I get that he's meant... I mean, he is the last Colossus before the final boss, and you don't want kind of a wimpy final boss. Penultimate boss. You kind of want a good penultimate boss. I think I'm gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. Come on. Yeah, I feel like I've gone an hour over this fight, but in my defense, I owe it all to my own incompetence. Well, it took me about, what, 15 minutes to travel here? I don't know. Time flies when I'm monologuing like that, but... There we go. Get up there. Up. Yep, this is starting to feel like an early 2000s, a mid-2000s 3D camera. Which is to say, it's now actively fighting against me and being a pain in my ass. Oh, shooting arrows. They look like big, strong hands, don't they? Are you gonna... No, I don't even think he's gonna swipe at me now that we don't have his precious... Now he doesn't have his precious little stone cleaver. Alright, so time to do it the hard way. Precision platform our way to his hand and hope for the best. There we go. Come on, you could just reach out and grab me. Reach out and touch faith. Oh. Literally staring into the abyss at this point. There we go. Oh. Come on. There we go. see if we can't... I'm just seeing if we can't stab this minor weak point again to, come on. No. Come on. The problem is this guy likes to move around so goddamn much, it's kind of hard to get a beat on him. Son of a bitch. Hold on a second. Oh, thank you for the... I don't understand the context of the comment, random citizen, but thank you, nevertheless. Come on. Come on. Yeah, the hand is definitely the hardest part of this guy. And we've wasted about an hour now on playtime. So... Come on, guy. Yeah, the hand is definitely the toughest part of this boss, because how exactly do you get on the palm of a boss's hand? Well, that's a question you gotta ask, and it's not easy, especially not with the fact that he shakes around a lot, and the scatterbrain kind of geometry of how he's set up, because he's not an easy boss to really get a good grip on. Like even the places that should look like they should be easy to grip onto, you've got about a 50-50 crapshoot shot of whether or not you're actually going to get on there. Yeah, this guy's not easy. And it really does start to feel like a time sink, just trying to get to that last spot. Honestly, this is another one of those what the hell are they thinking decisions. Come on. Okay, we're on his head. Just stop shaking us. Again. Not the easiest boss to figure out. Easiest boss. What is it? It also doesn't help that he moves around so much that it's kind of hard to get a bead on what you're doing. And I don't like the fact that every single movement, when you're trying to do something, just gets you out of it. Especially if your reactions are not as good as mine. Come on. Come on. Stop moving. Like, even when he's adjusting himself, it's... Come on. Yeah, that didn't help. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see if I can't. I gotta wait. No. I got a thing. I got an idea. Come on. Stop walking around, damn it! That's the big problem with this boss, that he just walks around too much. And my grip is running seriously, seriously low. Oh my god. Come on. Ah! Of course. All because he's just walking around too much. So it's... The geometry of this guy is really not that easy. And you know, if he started swiping back at you like he did with his cleaver, that would be one thing, but no. He just... It's like, I don't have weapon, I know use hand. That would be so much easier if he would just keep trying to swipe at you with this bare hand, trying to crush you like the little tiny ass bug that you are, and squeeze the life out of you like a fucking packet of ketchup. But no. Just stomping around like a 4-year-old throwing a temper tantrum. And of course I'm in the wrong fucking location. As per usual. That's the other thing. I don't like the fact that there's one specific location, and if you want to get back up and try again, you gotta remember that exact same location. This is the one part of the Let's Play that's really starting to feel its length. Come on. Come on, you bastard. There we go. Making my way back up to the high ground. Now resuming my normal procedure of pissing this guy off from the high ground. Alright. Kind of a lucky location, but still works. I got an idea. Nope, no, 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 no! Oh, damn it! You gotta be fucking kidding me, man. Yes, yes, yes. Stamp around like a toddler. Because what I was trying to do there was to get enough so that I could, like, then, like, quickly grab onto that upper pauldron right there, and then drop myself down, and then drop myself into the hand, but that did not work out, and thanks for missing, jackass. I really appreciate it. This fight would be so much easier, quicker, and simpler if it wasn't for his hand. And yeah, I know I didn't help my case by wasting a lot of time trying to figure out how to get onto the guy in the first place. Time. And this boss, even back then, was kind of forgettable to me, and it was basically luck as to what I was supposed to do. So, no, no, no. There we go. Alright, alright, alright. Alright, come on. Move to the left, goddammit. Move to the left, to the left. Or am I caught on the lip? There we go. Alright. Moved over. Now to find a good place. There we go. Good place for him to stop. Let me just... No, you don't. No, you don't. I'm going to stab you in the hand if it kills me. Oh, come on, no! One more, one more, one more, one more, one more! There we go! Ah, thank God. Finally, Argus is down. Now just one more Colossi to go. Whew, that took a bit longer than I was expecting. And honestly, it took a bit longer than it should have. But, hey, he's still dead. That counts for something, right? So, this is it. The last Colossus. The final obstacle. It all comes down to this. Alright. Let's get this show on the road. And yep. Couldn't be simpler enough. What looks to be a straight shot right across the temple. Hold on a minute. Up. Come on. Well, at least you stop. Yeah, looks to be a straight shot. Looks to be simple as shit, right? But obviously we can't get aggro over there, so we gotta go around. towards the very edge of the map itself. Last time we're going to be able to experience this place. It is nothing if not a bittersweet occasion. Thou must. Thou must. Yep. Alright, through the forest again. Over the river and through the woods. To the final Colossi we go. And spoiler alert, after we kill this one, then everything's just gonna hit us like a ton of bricks. If you know this game, you'll know what's coming. For those of you who don't, I'm not gonna try and spoil it. But suffice it to say, it's not gonna end the way you think it will. Honestly, there's only one ending this story could have gotten. The satisfaction that would have felt both thematically appropriate and, well, satisfactory is the incorrect term to use, but within the context here, it's the only one that would make any form of, well, not make a form of sense, but yeah, sorry for checking my map. I'm just trying to not get lost here. So yeah, I guess, well, I'll put my final thoughts after everything's said and done. But so far, if I had to sum it up briefly, do I regret going back to this game again? In all honesty, I would say no. The passage of time is a strange and funny thing. It can do a lot to what you know, consumed throughout. I made myself sad now. But anyways, the passage of time is a funny thing when you get right down to it. A lot of the things you loved when you were younger, sometimes you go and revisit and are like, ugh, why did I ever like this? Other times there are some things that you didn't care for, but you start to appreciate over time. And then there are some things that I think are the most special of all, which are the things that you liked initially, but didn't pay much attention to them. But they still left a bit of an impact on you, but not enough to, like, change your life or anything. And then you go back and revisit them years later, and you realize, holy shit, there's a lot here that I took for granted. This, I think, is one of those games. Don't get me wrong, I still have my problems with it. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it's a masterpiece. But I've started to appreciate the things that completely flew over my head when I was just a simple high school sophomore playing this game on an old PlayStation 2 that I bought from, I think, a secondhand game store for the first time. Because back then, when I was about 17 or so, you know, I like this game. But, it didn't leave the impact I thought it would. Now, though, I think it's left an impact. In the way that it left an impact on a lot of people. For better and for worse. Mostly for the better. Sometimes for the worse. That's just me, because a lot has changed since I was that 16-year-old kid playing this for the first time. That old PS2. A lot has changed. Now, more than ever, I get it. I get why this game means a lot of things. It means so much to so many people. I mean, I still have my gripes with it. Some of them legitimate, some of them maybe not so, but yeah. This was a little experience. Oh shit. I forgot about this part. Oh. Uh-huh. Oh, God. Our only companion in this mournful journey has taken a dirt nap. So now, it is literally just us toward the final obstacle. This moment shocked me when I first played it, don't get me wrong. But I don't know. For me personally, to a certain degree, the story of the animal of the lone man, or the lone character archetype with his loyal pet companion by their side, or a loyal animal companion. I'll be honest, I have found it a touch manipulative, which is why it's never left as big of an impact on me as it has for a lot of other people. But I think in this case, with just the isolation and the emptiness of the entire place, it's always good to have somebody by your side. And when that companion goes, for whatever reason, it hits you hard. Just like I was talking about with regards to the metaphor for depression. You know, you always had that one loyal person by your side. You always have the one thing you can rely on, and they'll go through that journey with you through the darkest places. Whether or not they should is irrelevant, but they're going to do it out of loyalty. But when they go, when you're at the final obstacle, yeah. That's all I can say is just... Yeah. And honestly, I think Oh. We're here already. This is the final Colossus. Malice. But before you ask, it's just stationary. And I think it is the tallest Colossi in the game. I don't think it's the biggest because I think just from a pure thing of like length, I think Phalanx is the largest in terms of length, but this is definitely the biggest in terms of height. And it certainly feels, you know, epic. And all you're doing is just running towards this thing while it stands planted in the ground and shoots at you. Like storming the beaches of Normandy. A platoon of men walking into gunfire. That mission done, either way. Well, in my case, I am about to die, so I should probably not. Not be too much of a jackass. And yeah, I think out of all the music tracks in my game, this final one is my favorite because it really does capture the finality and the sense of torture and just exhaustion that you're going through. Plus, when it comes to musical tracks, there are two things that gets me. One is a killer bass line, and two is any kind of orchestral score and accompaniment with the, you know, the chanting and the church bells and the cathedral organ in the background. It all works perfectly. I don't claim to be a religious person, but the haunting music that is associated with them, that's associated with the good choirs, at least, is nothing short of awesome. And I'm dead. Yeah, trying to get up towards this guy is not the easiest, if I remember right. Mostly because his bolts will track onto you relentlessly. Yeah, you are. It does feel like a literal suicide mission. And no matter how hard you run, you can't exactly escape it, unless. Or is this just going to lead me down? Nope. Yeah, I think this is another one of those bosses where you really got to be inventive of what to do, because going straight on, you can tell it's not going to work out for you. So trying to find little hints and crevices as to what to do. I forgot you could actually do that. So, mea culpa on my part. And yeah, it doesn't help that this hit stun is pretty long for an attack. But unlike Colossus, you're at least in a wide open enough area that it doesn't feel as cheap or annoying, even if they do home onto you. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. There we go. Yeah, and it doesn't help that the heavy thunderstorms and the rain, as cliched as they are, also highlight the true tragedy of going into this fight. Now, if we could just get into there without dying, that would be great. To hear it outside, even when you're away from the obvious route, you still feel like a rat in a maze. You know the fate that lies for you out there, but eventually, you just gotta accept it. Although I've half heard people say this is kind of an anticlimactic fight, which when we actually get into the fight itself proper, you'll kind of understand where people are coming from. Of course, then that also leads into the debate, narratively speaking, that the idea of this fight being anticlimactic is the exact point of it. It's meant to drive home, you know, the message of the game about the morality in place, about, you know, whether it's right or wrong to do what you're doing, and the pointlessness and tragedy of it all. So the fact that it's designed to deliberately be an anticlimax is to reinforce the message that the game is trying to impart on players. If nothing else, I can at least say this is a lot better of an attempt to do that than fucking No More Heroes 2. And if you've ever played No More Heroes 2, I know the final boss of that game, you know what I'm talking about. That motherfucker. Actually, come on, let me get back up. I know what. Okay. Come on. No, that can't be it, because that also doubles as an entrance, as well as an exit. But yeah, you can tell the mouse does not like the fact that we're near his territory. So he's going to try and stop us at any means necessary. Not that you can blame him, obviously. I mean, if you're implanted in the ground like that, and some little pissant is trying to get at you to try and kill you, of course you're gonna call down the power of lightning like you were motherfucking Zeus himself. So, you know, there's a reason for that. But, well, the fact that his blast do so much damage is not something I'm fond of. I'm trying to find a way to get him to stop staring at us and look somewhere else so I can quickly run up there without getting shot at. Unless there's a trick I'm missing. No idea. And it also doesn't help that the knockback is honestly kind of ridiculous. Again, I get it's the final boss, but still, it really does feel like a game of luck. And the fact that this is pretty much the only way to get up to the boss does not help matters either. Okay, he's not paying attention. No! Ah, damn it! Like, immediately, as soon as you get out of there. Okay, I know he can hear you, but that's beside the point. And again, that's... Good idea. Can this lead to a path? Yes, that's what I figured. Alright, yeah, so taking the direct path really was suicidal. Now it's just a matter of climbing up to it, because I think this guy, well, he may have 3 weak points, but he only has one that we really need to worry about. If you guessed the head, you've been paying attention. And no, and before you ask, no, he's not going to attack us. We are out of his sight, so we are out of his mind. All he will be able to do is shake us off. The only hard part is trying to figure out how to get up on this guy. Because you can tell from the angularity of him, he's not easy to grasp onto. Nope. So yeah, this is literally just platformer. Just trying to figure out what to do here. Of course, these angles are not enough to where we can get up. There we go. Found the path. Yeah, this is pretty much just a platforming level in every sense of the word, so if you haven't been good at the jumping mechanics and everything else, then you're gonna have a bad time. But if you've gotten to this point and haven't mastered the jumping mechanics, may I kindly ask why? I mean, I admire your tenacity and everything, but bro, you kind of done fucked up. This is one time where I'm okay with the camera being like this because it really does capture the scale of this thing. Yeah, if I remember correctly, in fact, I think Team Ico themselves actually released a size chart for all the Colossus in the game and like made them out by size, and obviously slow some of the other displays. I think, if I remember right, from the visual representation I'm getting it in my head of that chart now, this guy Malice really was the biggest. But yeah, back to what I was saying. You can see why people think this is an anticlimax, because he doesn't pose much of a threat once you get on him. He's not privy to attack you, and he's quite easy to defeat. Oh shit! When you know what you're doing, and really the challenge only just comes in the platforming sections and anything else. And this is where people would argue that deliberately being an anticlimax is the point of this boss, because it's meant to make you feel unsatisfied with your actions throughout the game. Me personally, do I feel like this boss is anticlimactic deliberately or otherwise? The argument could be made for that. Personally speaking, I don't think it's anticlimactic enough to necessarily be unfun, but I think it does work conceptually as an anticlimax. But I would still argue that the sheer size and scope of it, the finality of it, and the tragedy, for lack of a better term, that is compounded inside this boss really does make it feel epic. Now, obviously, the music and the visuals help as well. But, you know, There's still enough good things here, and holy shit, the fucking water effects are gorgeous in this HD remaster. Well, the question is, what do I do now? Actually, I think I know what to do now. There we go. There we go. Yep. Completely helpless to stop you. Oh god, that face in HD is fucking terrifying. The lack of definition in the standard PlayStation 2 version didn't show it, but wow, that face in HD, yeah, there's something creepy about that, I'm not gonna lie. And this is the only weak spot we have. Right on top of its head. And it is helpless to do anything other than to try and shake us off. We are dragging out and prolonging this thing's suffering far more than any merciful being killing it should have any right to do so. But this is what it all comes down to. So the question remains, is it all worth it? You tell me. There it goes, crumbling away like a piece of machinery. And now you have done it. No more Colossi left. Your wish is granted. Although that does look ridiculous. Yeah, that's unintentionally goofy, to say the least. I'm just gonna sit back and let the story play out.
is inf. Iron the cake ludo. No sus if incafiwo. Was I lucky? It was a You want to lie ludo? Look at the in you. Image Omaro Rude. Aki. What is I don't conquer? All is your could do. You will kill you out, you. It was no cover you.
And this is your final piece of gameplay, folks. After all that hard work, an entire, well, let's be honest here, a cult, religious order, whatever you want to call it, is going to kill you. And this is all you can do. Walk around, helpless to try and stop them, helpless to try and kill them. The sad thing is you don't even know if what you've done has done anything. But now, this is what you're stuck as. As if the anticlimax of the finale itself couldn't be more obvious enough with the fight against Malice. This is just the cherry on top of the Depression Sunday. And again, one thing I never noticed about it until this update, Wander's eyes have become like that of a Colossus. Talk about creepy. Sorry, this is the last bit of gameplay, but you're helpless to stop it. You're getting sucked in there no matter what. So congratulations! You killed all 16! You've also just unleashed an ancient evil world to this place, and an order of mysterious men have now stopped you. So now you'll never know if what you did had any effect at all. Isn't that wonderful? And now you're sealed away with them forever. Yep. That's, yeah. Might as well have some happy things to wash the bitter taste out of your mouth, huh? Oh, I didn't know this. Oh, must have been the, one of the founders of Blue Point. So yeah, congratulations! You brought your girlfriend back to life and Agro lives. Too bad it happened after you died. So you'll never, ever be able to know if what you did had any effect whatsoever. Yeah. Yeah, just another fitting metaphor, isn't it? How you have made an impact for the better, but only after you're gone, and you can't possibly know the effect that you had. This is the effect you had. Isn't that just brilliant? So yeah. I also do need to compose myself just a little bit, because there's a lot to process here with my final thoughts. I'm not going to lie and say that it's going to be easy to figure out how to properly convey all the emotions that I felt with regards to this game, because there's a lot to process here. A lot. Is it up here? I just don't know, but it's one thing. Despite some of the low moments, I am overall proud of this LP for being able to talk a lot and put a lot of thoughts together. Especially because there were some moments where I didn't know what to say. There's no way for them to get off this rock. And, Aggro's in pretty bad shape. And last I checked, considering the setting of this game, there's not enough medicine, so, an horse with a broken leg, you know what they do with those, right? Yeah. Sorry for depressing you. So yeah, now you've been resurrected as a baby. You still got horns, but so there's no guarantee which way you might turn up. Or turn out, I should say, but symbolic of starting a new life, going back and redoing the mistakes of the past. You tell me. That's all I can say. It's just, you tell me. Because even I don't know the answer. And I'm not afraid to say that. Even amongst this chaos, there is a possibility for new life to grow. To indulge my inner asshole for a moment and to quote The Simpsons, Marge, I'm confused. Is this a happy ending or a sad ending? It's an ending. Just leave it. But yeah, I guess bittersweet would be the best adjective to use here. Because let's be honest, it's the only adjective that really fits. Well, the only somewhat positive adjective. But a bittersweet pill is hard to swallow. So, which is one thing I have noticed, that a lot of people tend to not like bittersweet endings. They either want a super, super happy or super, super sad. They don't like the in-between stuff. They don't like it when the lines blur. Shit bums them out, man. And hey, it's perfect because at least there's not a sequel. Because honestly, I don't know how you would do a sequel to this game. Sure, there's a lot of open-ended questions, but I also don't think they need a lot of answers. So, I'm glad it's its own story. Yeah. I'm glad it's its own story. You know what? I'm okay with that. So, that was Shadow of the Colossus. And we've unlocked time attack mode for our troubles. So, wow. Yeah, this episode is running well over 2 hours long. So, I guess the question after all this is, how was it going back to this game after so long? Well, if you want me to be honest, it had its moments. I'm not gonna lie and say it was all bad. Oh, New Game Plus. Yeah. Overall, what did I think of it? Well, I've grown to appreciate the story and all its ambiguity and symbolism much more. It does strike a bit more of a personal chord the more I've talked about it. It is a very effective story. The visuals in the HD remaster are fucking beautiful. It realizes the game to its full potential. And, in a lot of ways, it really does make a very convincing case for video games are art argument, because it is art. And I'm not just saying that because of the story. A lot of it feels like it was art done for art's sake. And usually you tend to see, and usually that kind of passion project when you see it, whether it's a film or a TV show or a video game. When they've done it for art's sake. And this is one of them. This is the perfect example of that. And it really has made me be more introspective about this story, and it really is a lot better than I initially gave it credit for. But at the end of the day, I'm a video gamer. I'm not an art critic. No matter how flowery and pretentious my vocabulary can be sometimes. And as a game, it has problems. I think the Colossi mix in general is kind of split. There are some bosses, and there are some designs that I think are awesome. There are some designs that I think are a bit bland. There are some fights that I think are absolutely epic and some of my favorite moments in gaming. And there are some moments that I think there are some boss fights that I just, if I were to play them again, it would be way too goddamn soon. This isn't helped by the fact that the game has issues. Even by the standards of 2005, I think the controls are stiff, kind of mushy, and a bit unresponsive. And for a game like this, where precision can be key at points, that's an issue. And it really drags down some of the fights because it feels more like you're fighting against the controls than against the Colossi themselves. I find the overworld to not be a great place to explore. Because outside of a few token things that are just there for completionist's sake, it's not a vast open world with a lot to do and a lot to see. You kind of hit all your standard fantasy environment notes. And there's not a reason to really go out and explore the entire open world. It really does feel like just going from point A to point B. And that's not fun. That's not fun. What else can I complain about? I feel like some of the gameplay mechanics could have been better utilized and better realized. I think there are seeds for really great ideas here that just needed a little bit more polish to execute. And with this HD remaster, I was kind of hoping for that, for some of those gameplay experiences to be tightened up, for some of the controls to be finer in tune, to have a bit more to do. And it's just not the case. When the game works and everything clicks, it really is an adrenaline rush like no other. It feels epic. You really do feel like you are slaying a giant. And it is awesome. Even with the whole morality bits with the story and the questions that it brings up and all the philosophical debates it can inspire, it feels satisfying to slay a mountain, a living, breathing mountain. But when it doesn't work, that illusion is broken, and you are wrangling with a game who, in its quest to be as artistic as possible, has forgotten the number one component of what makes a good game, and that is solid, tight gameplay. It feels like you are fighting against controls and design choices that are way out of your hands, and it feels more like a matter of just trying to get it to cooperate rather than, creating that experience. It's a flawed game. I'm not going to tell you it's perfect, and I know for the people that absolutely adore this game, not that glowing sense of admiration, it's not going to be what they want to hear. Because, the fine line between enthusiasm and zealotry is razor fucking thin. And I'll get into that argument at a later date. No, not enthusiasm and fanaticism. Sorry, I always forget. I always mix those terms up. I've always said the difference between enthusiasm and fanaticism is razor fucking thin. I think there is one defining distinct difference, but I'll get into that in a later date when I'm bitching about something. But for the games super fans that love this and think it's a flawless masterpiece, I don't. There are some parts where I legitimately hated playing this game because it felt like I was just wrangling with something that wanted to be art first and a game second. And I'm the opposite. I feel like a game should deliver a solid game first and be art second. But when it works, it's great. And there are moments that I will always remember and cherish and love about this game, and I still love even after the first time playing it all those years ago. And you know what? I'll go back to this game and play through it again to see if I'm missing anything, and to see if it's actually the game or just me. And I have grown a deeper appreciation for this. I really have. Especially with everything that's happened, I've really grown. I've grown a personal bond and connection with this game that I didn't think would be possible when I was back in high school. It really does speak to me on a level that it never could initially, and I will always have some love for that, because any game that hits home for me that deeply is I'm never going to condemn it entirely for its flaws. I can't. It's just not possible. As you can tell, there's a lot of complex thoughts on my mind with regards to this. So, I guess if I were to wrap this game up in one simple sentence, one simple phrase, and this is a phrase that I've coined on my own, that I haven't had an excuse to use much, or haven't had an opportunity to use much, but I'm going to use it here because I think this encapsulates my thoughts on this game perfectly. And my thoughts on Shadow of the Colossus are this: I respect it more than I like it. And I'm not saying I hate it, because there are moments that I love. And there are moments that are very special to me. And there are moments that I think are some of the best in any video game or any piece of media I've ever played, hands down. But It is overambitious to a degree that I think is it's sometimes too highbrow for its own good. In its effort to be so different and be so unique and to create this experience, it forgets at the end of the day that there is another player behind that TV screen who is experiencing this, and that there are mechanics and gameplay that need to be properly addressed first in order to bring it all together. But it is because of that ambition, and it is because of the fact that it is willing to take risks, regardless of whether or not it ends up satisfying, that I appreciate it. Because there are very few games like this out there. And it is and you know what? I would rather take something like this over any bland, boring, rehashed, mediocre, money grubbing, pay to win, unoriginal garbage. I would rather take something like this that, much like Icarus, soared too close to the sun than something that plays it safe. Because who dares wins. Team Ico dared. They didn't succeed 100% in my opinion, but they won. And I will remember this game a lot more than a lot of other games that get released, especially in this climate. And that does mean something. That does mean something. So, this, honestly, everybody should play this game at least once. Everybody. If you classify yourself as a true gamer in any sense of the word, you owe it to yourself to play this game. Even if you may not like it 100%, which is totally fine. I can understand that. You owe it to yourself to play this game at least once. Because there is never going to be another game like it. And you will probably never play a game like it ever again. And I don't say that about a lot of games. I really don't. Because your mileage may vary on a lot of things. And your mileage may vary on this. But if you don't play a certain game, I can easily recommend another game to you that's kind of similar that you may like. That's not the case with this. It's its own beast. And it may have a lot of scars and warts on it. But I think it just means that when you focus on the features that are truly beautiful, the entire picture works together. So, you know, play this game. I mean it. Go out there and fucking play this game. Owe it to yourself to play this game. Because it's a game that deserves to be experienced. Doesn't matter what kind of gamer you are. Everyone should play this at some point. Because there will never be another game like Shadow of the Colossus. Never. And that means a lot. So, anyways, I think I've rambled on long enough. Yeah. Yeah, this was a heavy Let's Play. I didn't think it would be that heavy, but it was. This episode's also probably running on way too goddamn long. This is probably over almost 2.5 hours now. Probably the length, probably a full length movie at this point. Yeah, I should wrap it up. God, wow. Fuck, I didn't think it would get me talking that much, but it did. Jesus. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching these live streams and Let's Plays of Shadow of the Colossus. I guess there's nothing else I can say other than the usual boilerplate stuff. Go to my YouTube channel where you will find all my previous live streams and Let's Plays of not just this, but a lot of other games. And next up on the shit list is Resident Evil 5. Lucky fucking me, right? Lucky fucking me. I'll see you guys later. Take care.